And your company has grown a lot in the past 12 years or so?
It has, but I'm really haven't pushed much for growth to sacrifice service quality, which I think is a big issue in our industry.
Right.
They realize small companies need help, and then it's kind of easy to get them on board, and they get a little too hasty with the sales and then can't support it. So I've been very careful about that. And now that I moved back to the US, to the New York office, slowly started to build a team. Nice.
I got one in, I guess.
To provide. We're keeping score, right?
Not really.
We got the video right, let me know.
Yeah. Whoever knows, let us know in the video. We'll play again in a second.
Nice.
So you're good. You keep everything small just because you want to be able to manage everything. I have in your office here, I have a pretty small company. I mean, we're not, we're about under 20 people. And people are like, why don't you grow it? Why don't you grow, to a lot more people? And I'm like, I'm happy, I'm happy where we are. Our clients are happy. They like the attention.
Exactly.
And, I don't want to ruin anything, to be honest.
How many people you said you have?
About 20 or so.
20, okay. I said 120.
No, I can't fit 120. Right. Not that anybody comes into the office anymore, but.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I am looking to grow, but we're actually building some proprietary technology to help facilitate that.
Is that any related to any automation, the software?
It's a lot of Google ads being database and all, and you have a lot of data.
Right.
Search queries. There's a lot of things kind of that I've learned over the years, but the tool is meant to bring that to, oh no.
So I can finish the game right now?
There you go. Bring it to light. So if you put the right.
Can I shoot from anywhere?
Yeah. Usually it's some behind
the line, right?
Yeah, but.
All right, I'll try to be fair.
Yeah. Usually find the problem, right? If you can bring up the view where mobile is underperforming, most people know what to do. But to find that view and know where to look, that's kind of the tricky part. And it's all math, and if you know how Google Ads works, really try to get fancy there. Then that's the real challenge. And then the bidding up or down, it's kind of a little easier or a little more straightforward. And that way kind of lets the humans focus on the human aspect and kind of leverage that.
Yeah, I guess you win. Is that how it works? The last person gets the 8 ball in, right? I don't know if we're keeping score. Whoever knows how this, let us know who won afterwards. I mean, after that, you should just lose. I mean, there's no.
I was being kind because I'm a guest. I'm a cultural guy.
So how long you been building this tool?
Way too long. I realized a few years now. A lot of money sunk into it, but I also enjoy it.
Internally, you hired a company to do it for you.
A lot of freelancers internally. It's part of my passion, kind of doing that sort of thing. Kind of like I started the BI team at that marketing company, Outlook. But I am not too great as a product manager.
Is this where it goes?
Yeah, that's good. You can break this time.
Don't pull anything,
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk a little bit. There's a couple topics you like to talk about. One is how automation and how much you hate it.
Yeah, I mean, I think back in the day when you had automation, target CPA, Google used to say you need to have at least 30 conversions to use target CPA. And now anyone can turn that on. And oftentimes the conversions aren't set up right. But aside from that, often what you can see if you go into deeper, you can see a campaign set to $30 CPA. And if you look at the search queries or deeper into the campaign, you can see that some things are converting at $10. And since you decided you want 30, a lot of things wasting money. And you just know if you had full control, you wouldn't waste money. Right. High CPCs, over-exaggerated CPCs. So when you see that, you're like, let me just pull it out and do it myself.
You didn't play much pool during the IDF stuff?
Nah.
Nice.
It's been a while. Run back though. So yeah, so seeing like a keywords search queries, converting at really cheap CPAs, and then just a bunch of other waste tacked onto it to hit what your target was. So I think many people don't even know what the potential is. They just put a CPA, but.
Very nice. It's all coming back to you now.
There you go. Oh, the wall's back.
I'm sorry.
Get the button.
It's part of my strategy.
Another thing is that
there is a shorter stick, I think.
is there? You don't got that one. You put the stick on it and the whole fancy.
We used to have. I think
all right.
things get lost.
I'll just hit. It's okay. I think with automated bidding, some people just forget to look at the campaigns as well. Kind of set and forget it. This is natural tendency.
Even like agencies, you think forget that?
Oh yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah. Especially agencies. Especially agencies. You see a lot of changes made on like the campaign budget, but that's it. Because it's hitting the budget they want.
Right.
It's set to the CPA, but it doesn't really maximize the potential, or oftentimes a lot of waste.
And they just care because they just have to hit a budget every month to get their money.
Yep, and they're hitting a certain CPA, and if you don't go down to the weeds, it's just looks okay on the surface.
So you're obsessed more with looking at the ROI, if there's a benefit.
Yeah, I look at the company saying, what do they really want? It's not about hitting the budget, it's about growing profitably. And the budget is something they're saying, I'm willing to invest this, because I know there's a risk associated with it. But if I knew I can get some kind of return, I'll invest more and grow my business. And that's where the fun comes in. So if you think about it really that way holistically, and you really try to help them grow their business,
Got it?
oh yeah, got two there. No, I had to do that. Then I think it's more fun. It makes it easier changing the bids, going into the search queries. A lot of that can get quite boring if you don't realize, don't keep your eye on the ball, no pun intended, of why you're doing it. And I think one thing that happens is that companies, hire us and they're used to certain performance and used to agencies, come back to you too.
Those are easy
Unless
shots.
you're hustling me.
Yeah. Never do that.
So when they hire us, they're pretty agitated, they're trusting but distrusting. Any small thing they don't like, they get really annoyed until the guys, they're not yelling at you, they're not angry at you, they just got burnt a few times. If you want them to be happy, get them results. That's it. It's
Right.
not personal. And clients that were just like furious, like little things, just looking for that. A month later, just on a Friday afternoon, you guys are awesome. Just random emails, happy, you're growing our business. And that's really a lot more fun. And, I saw that. you can go.
No, it's fine. Okay, go ahead.
And the beauty is actually, how do you maintain that? How do you
Right.
scale that? Keep that personal touch, that caring.
So what does that involve? Many calls with the clients? Or schedule, you do routine calls, or you're doing?
It's very iterative. Like we find something, as we're going through it, keeping them posted. We see something, when we get a conversion, first of all, right? Conversion tracking, see conversion come through.
Right.
Early on, you call them up, you get the conversion. Was it good? Was it real? Was it matched the real world? Only then can we optimize based on what we see in Google Ads, right? Looking at the quality, getting the strategy.
Is there any time a situation where you're actually saying, you know what, automation makes sense?
Yes, automation could work, and
Okay.
I would try it. I would test it out. It's listen, let's try this one campaign in automation, and I do like the challenge of trying to beat it. But if it beats me, data tells a story. I'll just follow it. I'm not that stubborn to say, just no. But if I see it, I'll add negative keywords to the campaign.
Right.
And it's a test. Oftentimes it can outperform it because the client, and that words like buy, something will work better. So you push that a little bit higher. Some keywords a little more broad in the shorter term, shorter length. You put, bid a little less risk. So putting all those considerations into play and knowing the company's business, they sell that really well. You can make those assessments, and being in the search queries, blocking stuff out, you can do pretty well. But Google it can't know that no matter how much AI is at this point. Mm-hmm. But every so often we feel it plateauing, we put the automated bidding and say, let's see if it can beat us. And if it can.
It might give you some ideas, I guess.
Exactly.
I had this guy who came in last week. He said, he's in a company that's a startup company. That's all about growth and getting as many signups as possible, no matter what cost. So there was no real ROI in there. It was all about making sure to get as many users signed up, so that when they're ready to, like, I guess, sell the company, they say they have this amount of users, this amount of growth. The revenue wasn't, the profit margins were not important at all. In fact, they were encouraged to lose money for user growth.
In that first company I worked at, Outlook, we started out with 800,000 members, and when I left it with 3 million. And what I did there, I put tracking to see, they sold like women's clothing on flash sales, like 2-3 day sales.
Right.
And we acquired users from the words like cheap clothing and cheap whatever, and cheap and jewelry. Your turn of mine.
I think it's mine. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll
go for it. And building the BI team there, I did the analysis of coefficient of how they sign up.
Right.
And I realized that acquiring a user using the word cheap was, I think, 5 times less expensive than jewelry. But the lifetime value of a jewelry searcher was much higher. I mean, so there are, as far as, and you can track it based on engagement, email opens, etc. Oh, nice.
I did that on purpose.
I did not doubt it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think acquiring users for, like, just to say I acquired users.
Yeah.
I mean, I would think that anyone looking to buy would say, who are these users? What are they doing eventually? Like, are they engaged?
Well, they wouldn't sign up with them if they were. It was just like, there was no, it's like when you sell a piece of, you sell a pool table, you know how much the pool table is worth, you know how much you can spend on ads, you know how much, it's not worth selling, maybe you're spending $5 a click on selling, pool sticks if you get a certain amount of conversions based off of it.
Right.
They didn't care about that ratio.
But I'm saying, like, the word cheap. I can get a lot of users with the word cheap. I can pay, say $2 a lead. But jewelry costs me $10 a lead.
Right.
So they would go after the cheap ones, but the conversion to actual dollars eventually, the value of the customer.
Right, if that person wouldn't convert, but they didn't care to make money on that conversion. They just wanted that user to sign up. For whatever reason it might be.
Okay.
Like, you think about it, like, if you, sell a product at a loss on purpose. There are companies, especially startups, that
loss leaders and
look at any Google, Facebook, they all started their business without any idea in terms of how much money they'll make or how they'll monetize the platform.
Mm-hmm.
So that's,
I see that. Yeah, okay, yeah.
I guess if you have customers like that, that's like easy money, maybe? I don't know.
It's, you know what? Those are the customers that challenge me, because it pains me if I don't understand the business model, understand, like, the value it's getting.
Right.
Because I know there's so many ways to go off display, and there's so much fraud going on there. And I'll write something up pretty soon. I'll send it over to you, and I'm analyzing it, some stuff going on.
You send me a lot of, here and there you'll send me something. Like, just recently you sent me the thing around, what was the topic you emailed me about that I covered? The disapproval of ads.
Yeah.
So that's pretty wild. And Google, we're kind of switching topics now, but I figured why not. The whole disapproval ads. So you saw Google's response.
Yeah. But it was no way, like, some companies that sells, like, Moravian cookies, disapproved because of documents, and then HVAC. Government policy. Yeah. There was something going on there, and you reach out to the reps, and they tell you that it's going to be.
So your reps got you. They said it was a bug or something.
Yeah, we reached out to support. They said it's a bug. We get fixed. Resubmit it. But then we had clients because they sent the clients emails directly as well.
Right.
And the clients got confused with what's going on with our ads.
And they get upset.
And you're like, well, we got it. We wrote,
Yes.
wrote a blog post about it, and you try and get it, see what's going on with it. But the whole thing is, like, back in the day, if you would resubmit an ad, it would lose the history. It doesn't happen as much right now. Like, literally reset everything, like everything to zero. Now they keep it, but still, I wonder if in the back end it loses something because Google says.
You would think they would have something around maybe not. I don't know.
Well, I'm used to this place where you took out a period, like your whole stats would reset, and you're like, shit. Like,
right.
So whether they change on the front end or really the algorithm knows it's. And how does it know if a period doesn't change something?
Right.
Does it really know? It's
interesting because I'm more on the SEO side of things, and whenever I speak to people like you that are really, really knowledgeable about this PPC stuff, they just go so deep on these things. Like these things I know on the SEO side, but I'm not day in and day out on the. I'm not day in and day out like playing around with ad campaigns.
Right.
So I don't know it as well as I know the SEO stuff. Although I should. I mean, I've run some ad campaigns. But very, very branded stuff, so nothing that needs a lot of work.
Well, that's where you're an expert in your field, because you focus on what you.
I guess. I don't do any client stuff anyway, so I just talk to you guys who know the stuff.
Well, the thing I was seeing is that in Microsoft, it's just going crazy on what they're matching, like broad terms. Like,
do you want to drink while we're here?
nah, no.
Okay.
It's just like the things we're matching to are pretty insane.
Yes.
Like, someone's brand term is like Sakina, which means knife. They sell knives, but it's matching, and that word, an exact match, could match to like water filter or just random stuff. Or they're actually good search queries. But I was looking deep in the data and I can see a pattern that this random queries have very low CPCs and high click-through rates.
Right.
Like 5-6 words, and all of a sudden you have like 60% click-through rate. And then there's a lot of them over time, and those all look just pure fraud. There's no way no one's looking for that. And there's no reason I should have a 60% click-through rate on that. Anyway, it's some weird stuff going on with Microsoft. They actually refunded us a few $100s for clients matching to weird stuff.
So you do a lot of Microsoft? You spend actually a lot of money with Microsoft?
We just spend there.
What's the percentage you think?
It's probably like 10-15%
Okay.
we spend. So for some clients it works better. But my philosophy is anywhere there's a client looking for the company, just be there.
Right.
Right? And
As long as there's a return on investment. why not?
watch the data and bid according to what the traffic's worth.
Interesting. Cool. All right, so the next topic I think you wanted to talk about, and I guess this will be our last game.